Alright guys, welcome back to ZBC Racing, where we do NASCAR Heat 5 videos, we do the ZBC podcast, we make short form content, we review real life NASCAR highlights, we rank the drivers in real time through the NASCAR power rankings, and eventually we will start to do more in real life racing content, go-karts, getting in the real cars, and etc. So let's do a quick race at Michigan. We got 13 guys in this lobby, ready to go. Everyone's hunting for a win. I think I've gotten the last probably 6 out of the last 7 races. So a little bit of a boring thing, but maybe what we can do this race is we'll drop back. We'll go back to so it's 13 guys. I qualified first. We'll go back to, let's pick a number. First number I see on my screen. I saw 6. All right, I'm going back to 6th place. So I looked on my computer screen. I saw that I was 54 minutes and 6 seconds into my little recording on OBS. So we will go to 6th place. We'll try to drop back to 6th and see if we can come back from 6th to 1st within the span of, I believe, 8 laps. So this should be a nice way to look. If you're gonna win these races because you're not in the most stiff of competition environment, throw yourself in a fire. Throw yourself into learning more, figuring out what are the right moves to get by drivers, how to get by slower drivers, how to get by faster drivers, and how to win in any sphere of competition. So all these skills in these sim races, they translate absolutely and utterly to real life. I mean, this is these kind of games. There's a reason why these real life drivers, they have their sim setups. There's a reason why you can find these real life drivers even racing in your races. A lot of them choose to do iRacing for certain reasons. I don't do that so much for content. But anyways, we're going to drop back to 6th here and see if we can turn a 6th place, let's say bad start, into a win. So we're in 5th. Let's see if we can crack. Oh no, the guy got off. So we're gonna let these guys pass. All right, so now we're in 6th. We got 8 laps to prove ourselves. So right off the bat, I believe we'll take 5th place back coming into turn 3. Unless this guy gives us a really hard time. I don't think he will. I think I'm going to just go for it here. Okay, so diving now into turns 3 and 4. It's really just about finding that rhythm, finding whatever you can. As you can see, the guy up top, he's found something on the outside, but I've found a lot of grip on the inside with my setup. And that's going to really allow us to just really cut through this field really quickly. These drivers are good. I'm not going to lie. I've had a lot worse drivers. As you can see, they're making it work through turns turns 1 and 2. But as you can see, I'm a lot faster. I'm going to try to get through the middle if possible. I shoot that gap through the middle, and so it really, going from 1st to 6th to 1st, really only took me just a little bit of time. So I decide, hey man, maybe we can go back over to 5th, and maybe we can go back to 5th and see what happens. All right, what do you say we drop back again? Let's go back to 5th.
Got one down low now.
Let's do it one more time. By the way, these are real drivers. Now, would I be able to do this in a highly competitive field? No, I wouldn't. But let's see if I can do it twice. So go back to 6th and then go back to 5th. See if we can do it twice. Right, so catching the draft here, we're going to paint it right on that inside of that white line and see if we can get some nice momentum. Almost like a beautiful 2-for-1, but we kind of smashed that guy's bumper just a little bit. So instead of it being nice and clean, it was a little bit dirty, which is kind of, I guess if you're OCD, not cool, but I thought it was pretty cool anyway. We still got it. So we're going to enter this turn super hard, and the setup we have allows us to just bite right into that corner. I mean, that wouldn't typically work in real life like that, but you got to figure out what you can figure out, and that's part of racing. If it's different in real life, then you figure out what works in real life. If it's different in the game, you figure out what works in the game. So watch as we sail it off, and we kind of catch the car. Ooh, that was kind of badass. That was kind of badass, not gonna lie. So we did kind of door the guy, but it wasn't really enough to be anything meaningful. In this game, these side impacts can be kind of weak. And so, yeah, I used him up a little bit, but I was fast enough where it doesn't really matter. So 4 laps to go now. It's a 1.1 second lead, and I'm kind of ripping this middle. Look how stable
and planted this car is, my tires are at the perfect temperature. They're at the prime of the tire. So now,
All right, I can tell my
0.9
tires
seconds.
are wearing because I've been going really hard.
Right, so
going back and forth through the field. So I'm really gonna have to focus, not wear out my tires so much, so I can have enough to get past this guy.
So now, when you're at the prime of your tires, you're right on the edge of them kind of falling off.
So look how I like paint myself right behind him, trying to absorb every ounce of draft I can. All right, how about a challenge, guys? Since we're just flying through this field like a knife through butter, how about we try to pass this guy on the outside? I'm gonna try to pass him on the outside. We got 2.5 laps to do it. See if we can run it.
All right, so we're gonna see if we can find some grip on this top line. And as you can see, he's really he's coming up a little bit too early in the corner. So that's gonna allow us to get that run on this top of the front straightaway. So now we're coming to 2 laps to go here, guys. And it looks like we've gone from first. We started first. We backed off to 6th. And then we ended up finding our way back to first. And that wasn't enough. So then we're like, hey, let's go back to 5th. And then that wasn't enough. So we got back to 2nd. And now we complete the pass on the outside. A lap and a half to go. And we're just at this point going to try to gloat and showboat. And that's something, you know, if you can do it in racing, why not? If you've got the speed, then do it. So we're going to try to really rip it through turns 3 and 4 here. Look how stable that car feels coming out of turns 3 and 4. And we're building just a gap. And probably the field is like, damn, like, did he have problems or how did he get this comeback? But yeah, it was all planned. And we're going to come now on this last lap, these last 40 seconds of the race, and try to come out with a win.
Not a good turn at all. All right, guys, so it looks like we did the 1st to 6th to 1st to 5th to 1st challenge. Pretty fun. Sometimes I need a little bit of a stiffer competition. No disrespect. But these are real guys, again. Racing, it's late at night, so not everyone's on their A game. Not everyone's streaming, taking it seriously. But still fun to come in here, get some dubs. And I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you learned something about navigating through a field, back through a field. Of course, that would never happen in real life. You're always going to try to finish as top as possible. You're never going to really just like sandbag like that. But it's good to do that. Like I said, you got to throw yourself into the fire. You got to figure out, you know, how if you don't throw yourself into a bad situation on purpose just to see if you're resilient, to see if you can get past it, then things are just going to be too easy. You're never going to actually grow. So that's one of these things where you're training in football. You want to like put yourself in a tough position. Like let's say you're a linebacker, get someone heavier than you, like someone to rough you up a bit. Let's say you're in racing, like real racing. Put on worse tires, start a race. Like if you're doing go-karting, you're going to a local go-kart track. Start a race with used tires. I've tried that in real life and I've ended up winning. Put yourself, do something. Do something to make it harder on yourself if you find that your competition is not at the place where you want it to be. Because the moment you get stale and the moment you just say, oh, I'm the best, there's always going to be someone that's going to come and make it better. So if you can, throw yourself into a tough situation and, you know, try to get something happening. And that's the thing is like, the moment you get stale, the moment you stop trying to improve and just say, hey, I'm the best, just wait, because that next day, someone's going to come and outshine you. So that's the way that God teaches us to keep. He wants us to always be improving and never to stop chasing something better. So if you have a chance to make something better in your life and throw yourself any type of challenge, my advice, go do that. See you in the next video.